all eyes are on the NHL Entry Draft in June for Calgary Flames fans, and the latest mock draft, the latest draft projections to come out will have Flames fans stoked, as the Calgary Flames will be landing an elite superstar in the top 10. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Athletics mock draft of the first two rounds, where the Flames have plenty of picks, and let's just say there's a lot to be excited about for Flames fans. But before we get into that, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. You can join the fastest growing community of Flames fans on the internet, and we would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. But without further ado, let's get into this mock draft. It is a spicy one. These are always so, just super pleasurable, honestly, to look at. It's so nice having the Flames have the potential to grab a really good player in the draft this year. There's been plenty of years in the past where Flames fans haven't been all that excited going into the draft, but this year it's exciting, and it's always super exciting to look at these mock drafts that do come out. So let's take a look at, like I said, this one's from the Athletic NHL Mock Draft 2024, predicting all 65 picks of the first two rounds with Pronman and Wheeler. That is, of course, Corey Pronman and Scott Wheeler. Shout out to them for providing such a great mock draft here. Now, we won't be looking at all 65 picks. We don't care about all of those picks. We just care about the Calgary Flames picks, of which they have 4 in the first two rounds, 2 in each round, of course. So let's get into round 1 here. And the Flames, they have that top 10 pick. They, as of right now, have the 9th overall pick. There's the potential that it could shift around a little bit, but I think the Flames are happy with this 9th overall pick. And here we go. What superstar, what elite prospect are the Flames going to be taking with the 9th overall pick? Well, you guessed it from the thumbnail, and if I'm this excited about it, I'm sure you're this excited about it. It is Tej Aginla, the center/left wing from the Kelowna Rockets of the WHL. So yes, this pick was made by Wheeler. Calgary Flames at number 9. The Flames strongly consider Carter Yekemchuk from their backyard with the Hitman, of course, a very good defenseman from Calgary, as well as centers Berkeley Catton and Consta Helenius. But take Aginla, not because it's a feel-good story, but because he belongs in the range and fits with the player type they've targeted in the past. Now, there's a lot to break down here from just that one sentence. But first off, they decide to not go with a defenseman, they go with a forward. And then the next part here, they look at centers Berkeley Catton and Consta Helenius. And I know a lot of Flames fans, including myself, would be over the moon with either Catton or Helenius. They're both amazing prospects. They should be really good. But the Flames in this draft decide to go with Aginla as he slides to number 9. And not just because he's Jerome Aginla's son and, he knows, obviously, the organization and the Flames fans would instantly adore him, but because he's kind of what the Flames need. The Flames need a really good cornerstone forward here to help turn around the franchise. And Tej Aginla, in this mock draft anyway, and these draft rankings, is the way to go. It's honestly, this is so exciting to see that Tej is sliding to 9th in a lot of these mock drafts. And a lot of Flames fans do want to see this. He's such a good player, such an elite playmaker, but even more so a scorer. The only thing I don't necessarily fully agree with here is that he's what the Flames have targeted in the past in the draft. I'm not too sure the Flames have targeted a player quite like Aginla, especially this high in the draft in what seems like a long time. But either way, I think Flames fans will be super excited about this one. I won't dive into his stats or his facts or anything like that, because I'm sure most people already know what he's all about. But let's get into the Flames' other first round pick now at the 28th spot. Which of course is Vancouver's first round pick after we gave them Elias Lindholm and they could not get past the Edmonton Oilers. Thanks a lot. We didn't get a 3rd round pick instead of a 4th. Thanks, Vancouver. My goodness. Anyway, 28th pick here. Another pick by Wheeler. The Flames decide to take Leo Salin Valenius, a left-handed defenseman out of Sweden. After taking Aginla with their first pick, the Flames nabbed the smooth skating Swedish D with their second pick. WHL defensemen like Charlie Elick and Harrison Brunicky could also be a consideration here. So this is a little bit high to be taking Valenius. He's not necessarily projected to go in the top 30, but he does have a lot of upside, and as we saw, he's an offensive defenseman. Now, if we take a look at his stats here, first couple years of junior, not too much, but obviously in his draft year, he has popped off at nearly a point per game, and 11 goals as well. And I know a lot of people will be saying, well, we already have Hunter Brustevich. We already know that MacKenzie Weegar is obviously has all the potential in the world to score as many goals as he wants, it seems like. Why would we need another guy like this? It's never a bad thing to have an abundance of really good defensemen in your system, especially good offensive ones, because that's the way the game is going these days. You need really, really good offensive defensemen. Think of guys like Adam Fox, of course, who we hate in the conference final. A guy like Evan Bouchard for Edmonton. As much as that pains us as Flames fans, it is really key to have a really good offensive defenseman that can take you far into the playoffs. And I know we have Brustevich. I know we have Weegar for the long run. But hey, maybe Valenius here could be another one. I don't necessarily think this is the best pick the Flames could make at that spot, but I do not hate it. He's been compared to other good Swedish defensemen in the past, like Erik Karlsson, Nicholas Lidstrom. I mean, that's a little bit overselling the guy, but either way, I do not hate it. Now let's get into round 2 here of this draft, where the Flames once again have a couple of picks. Now, the first one is, of course, the Flames' actual pick. It goes 41st overall. And who are the Flamesies taking here? Well, they're taking Harrison Brunicky, the right-handed D-man out of Kamloops. He was mentioned in the last little segment there, but the Flames continue to build out their pool on D and add a local boy in Brunicky, whose stock rose in the second half of the season. Now, he's not necessarily labeled as an offensive defenseman, and it does say here that, he is a local boy. So once again, the Flames kind of looking at another guy from Calgary. He's not born here, but grew up here. Super, super cool to see. Now let's get into some of his facts here. So he just recently turned 18 years old. He is born in South Africa. How cool is that? I thought that was something cool to show as well. And what I like here is that, he's not necessarily the biggest guy in terms of weight yet. I mean, goodness, how much did I weigh when I was 18? About 50 pounds. But his height, 6'3", and there's potential. Maybe he might grow a little more. But either way, I don't hate it. Already 6'3", that's not too bad for a defenseman. And this is actually lower than where he's expected to go. So this is the 41st overall pick. He might actually end up going a little bit higher. As we just saw, the Flames could potentially take him with the 28th overall pick. So he's a really, really good defenseman. This one, a right-handed D-man. And once again, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to really build up the D-core throughout the organization, because at the NHL level right now, not the strongest. We'll see what it looks like once the actual season is underway. But it's not a bad idea to really start stocking up on good defensemen, because, I mean, come on. We all know the classic cliche saying, defense wins championships. He has the potential to be a pretty good offensive guy. He went kind of crazy in the second half of the season. Not necessarily insane, but he's also very, very good defensively. It'd be good if he was a Calgary Flame, as he knows the city and probably wouldn't want to go to America because he likes his hometown. Now, what is the other pick here? This one I don't love, but let's go 64th overall. This one made by Bronman. Mikhail Yegorov, a goalie out of Omaha. Omaha! Shout out Peyton Manning. Yegorov is the most purely talented goalie in the class from an athleticism standpoint and has a lot of upside. He'll need 4 to 5 more years likely to develop so Calgary can see what they have in Dustin Wolf or others. So taking a goalie, I don't hate the idea, and I understand if he's super athletic, but I'm not too sure how I feel about this pick. I know a lot of Flames fans, including myself, want to see them develop Wolf more. He has the potential to be a really, really good goalie. It's never a bad thing to have more goalies, but let's take a look at his stats here. Not exactly overwhelming. So this season in the USHL at the Omaha Lancers, he had a .386 goals against average and a sub-900 save percentage. Not necessarily what you want to see. Some of those stats above there as well back in Russia aren't exactly blowing anyone away. I understand if he's very athletic, but I don't know. This pick is not for me. I don't want to see the Flames make this pick. If they do take a goalie, maybe wait for a later round. Who knows? This guy will most likely still be on the board. But, and no way am I hating on Yegorov here. I just don't think a second round pick is worth him, especially where the Flames are at right now. We know the Flames aren't going to be a great team for the next couple of seasons. Maybe a really good goalie prospect will come out of there. You don't need to shoot the shot right now with where the Flames are organizationally and in this retooling. Either way, I really like this mock draft though, and I'm sure it'll have a lot of Flames fans excited. Let me know what you guys think the Flames should do down below in the first couple rounds of the draft. There are obviously a million possibilities, but it's always fun to kind of speculate on what the Flames could do. Now let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day, and it goes with yesterday's video about the unfortunate injury to Martin Pospisil at the IIHF World Championships. I might put out a video later today that will have the results of his MRI and maybe join that with another story, but if not, I'll obviously cover that pretty soon. But either way, this comment put it perfectly, and it's from a regular viewer around here pretty much since the beginning. Kayla and Clint, what are they saying? We always get bad luck. Either it's injury or players want to leave. Can't catch a break. I know, when was the last time where the Flames had a roster complete full of players that we all knew wanted to be here and were all at perfect health? I mean, the perfect health thing is, that's almost impossible to reach. That is an ideal perfect world that does not exist. It's a fantasy pretty much. But having players that are full health and want to be on this team, it's been a while. That's all I can say. I thought that comment was pretty funny because it is so ironic that the Flames really, like every other team, get injuries, but we also struggle with the players wanting to be here. We just want a roster full of players that can actually play here and want to play here. Thank you so much for that comment. I also want to thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.